While video games have existed long before the 1980s, many of us have had our gaming careers start as a direct result of the Nintendo Entertainment System released in 1985. To say that the NES ushered in a golden age of gaming would be a true understatement. While 2D games would only last for a little more than a decade, some of the most beloved characters of all time started on this very machine. When talking retro video games, we believe there is no better place to start than with the NES. Today we will reveal and give a brief description of the 16 games that will be in the NES tournament that is upcoming. But first, please consider supporting the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and hitting the bell for notifications. We're having fun here at VGB, and we are already super encouraged as to all the support you have shown thus far. Thank you. Now on to the games.
Let's go!
Super Mario Bros. Is a platform video game, and this game truly launched a golden age. It follows Mario or his brother Luigi in multiplayer in order to rescue Princess Toadstool from King Koopa, who would later become Bowser. This is a side-scroller in which Mario must deal with enemies and pitfalls of the stage with the aid of power-ups such as the Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Starman. Super Mario Bros. Will be 40 years old this year. Incredible. The Legend of Zelda is an action-adventure game that is set in the fantasy land of Hyrule and centers on an elf-like boy named Link, who aims to collect the 8 fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom in order to rescue Princess Zelda from Ganon. In this inaugural game, the player controls Link from a top-down perspective and navigates throughout the overworld and dungeons, collecting weapons, defeating enemies, and uncovering secrets along the way. This would be the first title in one of the most successful series of all time. Metroid is an action-adventure title that follows Samus Aran as she attempts to retrieve the predatory Metroid organisms in an attempt to thwart space pirates. This game pioneered the Metroidvania genre, focusing on exploration and searching for power-ups used to reach previously inaccessible areas. This launched a genre that would be very popular in speedrunning. Contra is a run-and-gun video game that was made for arcades. Contra was one of the top 4 highest-grossing dedicated arcade games of 1987 in the United States. The controls consist of an 8-way joystick and 2 action buttons for shooting and jumping. This can be played with 2 players, and their goal is to progress across each stage, taking out enemies as they go, using a variety of weapons. Final Fantasy I is a role-playing video game that follows 4 youths called the Warriors of Light, who each carry one of their world's 4 elemental crystals, which have been darkened by the 4 elemental fiends. Together, they quest to defeat these evil forces, restore light to the crystals, and save their world. A special note, these first 5 games listed would end up being the inaugural games of a series that would truly explode with popularity. Up next, we have The Guardian Legend. This game is a hybrid action-adventure shoot-'em-up that incorporates gameplay elements from titles such as The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and 1942. The main goal of our protagonist is to bring about the end of an alien planet named Naju by having it self-destruct before reaching the Earth. Super Mario Bros. 2 is a 2D side-scrolling platform game. The objective is to navigate the player's character through the Dream World subcon and defeat the main antagonist, Wart. Super Mario Bros. 2 is based largely on Yumi Kojo, a game in which Japan thought would not fit in with Western audiences. Therefore, the characters of the game were converted over to Mario characters. Super Mario Bros. 2 has been considered by some to be the black sheep of the Mario series. One very cool thing about the game is that you can also play as Toad, Luigi, or Princess Peach. Super Mario Bros. 3 is the 3rd installment in the Super Mario series that expands greatly upon the first game. It adds many different power-ups not available in the original and introduced many elements that become Super Mario's staples, such as Bowser's Children and a world map to transition between levels. Super Mario Bros. 3 is considered by many to be one of the greatest video games of all time, and this is a heavy favorite to win this tournament. Blades of Steel is an ice hockey video game based off of fictional teams but real Canadian and American cities. The game is known for its fast-paced hockey action and especially for the fighting. DuckTales is a platform game based on the Disney animated TV series of the same name. The story involves Scrooge McDuck traveling around the globe collecting treasure and outwitting his rival, Flintheart Gloomgold, to become the world's richest duck. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, is a beat-em-up that allows up to 4 players to fight their way through various levels to defeat enemies including the Shredder, Krang, and the Foot Clan. Players choose between Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael for the playthrough. Each of the turtles presents its own unique traits in combat. Sweet Home is a role-playing game that was developed alongside the horror film of the same name and tells the story of a team of 5 filmmakers exploring an old mansion in search of precious frescoes hidden there. As they explore the mysterious mansion, they encounter hostile ghosts and other supernatural enemies. What makes this game interesting is that the narrative moves forward regardless of whether the characters stay alive, and this can lead to one of 5 different endings. Trog is a maze arcade game in which players control one of 4 dinosaurs chased by cavemen. Its gameplay includes elements of Pac-Man, such as collecting all items in a maze and eating a special item to turn the tables on the pursuers. One nice feature of this game is that it supports up to 4 players at once. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is a platform game featuring single and 2-player cooperative modes, allowing players to choose which levels to access via a map of various locations throughout the city. Each individual stage is set up as a side-scrolling action game where Chip and Dale can walk, jump, and duck, and pick up objects such as acorns, crates, barrels, and balls to throw at enemies and bosses. Dr. Mario is a falling block puzzle game in which the player's objective is to destroy the viruses populating the on-screen playing field by using colored vitamin capsules that are automatically tossed in the field by Dr. Mario. The player manipulates the falling capsules to align the same colors, which destroys the viruses. Also, thanks to this game, we get an extra Smash Brothers character. Finally, and last but not least, we have Mega Man 3, which is an action platform game that follows Mega Man as he helps his creator Dr. Light and a supposedly former enemy Dr. Wily collect parts for a peacekeeping robot by defeating several robot masters that have gone haywire. The game stages can be completed in any order, and after defeating a stage's boss, you can earn a special weapon which can be used at will throughout the course of the game. We are excited to see how these games fare in the 16-game NES bracket. Please make your voices heard as our excitement continues to grow for this tournament. In our next video, our council members will be ranking the games from 1 to 16 in their own opinions, and we will use the aggregate data in order to form the brackets. If this sounds confusing, don't worry, we will do our very best to explain. Thank you again.